Hi everybody, I just wanted to make a video to highlight an article I'm writing for our Solar Buzz newsletter in response to Karina Bennett's great article that was in The Gleaner on Friday called Stakeholders at Odds Over Path Towards Solar-Powered EVs. This is an issue that we saw coming, but really what the article talks about and my response is, how is JPS going to allow owners of charging stations to sell that power to electrical vehicle owners in order to charge their vehicles? Because remember, JPS has a monopoly on selling power, which means they're the only ones that can sell it. So if you put up a charging station on your property, you can't charge people for that power because the only entity in Jamaica that can sell power is JPS. So when you read the article, you will see Evergo's boss, Wayne McKenzie, has chimed in on it to encourage government to change the policy. In the budget speech, Minister Clark had mentioned that all EVs should be charged 100% from solar power. But this is an issue that if you really think about, as we have in industry, JPS has been preparing for EVs in Jamaica and promoting that for years, probably for the last 5 years. They were the first ones to really start pushing it. Remember when they had that big EV on the side of their building? I think that was at least 4 or 5 years ago. So to have the monopoly on selling power and then to have this policy pushing EVs into the country, JPS is not going to allow just any and everyone to sell power so easily. They mentioned in the article that what the owners of the charging stations plan to do is sell time, but obviously that time will be more expensive if JPS doesn't allow you to have solar attached to your charging station, which is what is the issue. What obviously these owners want to do is have solar systems, a grid tie without batteries, offset the amount of JPS they need to take from the grid in order to allow you to charge your car. But JPS has the right to grant these net billing license or non-net billing licenses so that you're allowed to pass a grid tie system. If they don't allow you to pass it, you can't have a grid tie system set up which means without batteries. So it would force these owners of charging stations to have basically an off-grid setup where they have to have power these charging stations 100% by lithium batteries, which would make it more expensive. So the battle is going to come. The solar industry, we went through this with JPS over the last 10 years. The policy is in place now where if you have a grid tie system on your business or home for solar energy, you can sell back to the grid. But JPS only buys that power back at a 30% rate of the rate that you pay them. Then they get that power and they can sell it to your neighbors at 100% rate. So it's a great deal for JPS. It's really more beneficial for commercial entities who are closed on the weekends, obviously, because you get to sell back more power and you'll have more credit on your JPS bill. So going through that over the last 3 years to get to the level to where we can have a net billing license for solar, we had a lot of ups and downs, meetings with JPS, and the policy still isn't 100% the way the industry would like it. But we don't see JPS allowing just any and every EV charging company to set up chargers so easily and get solar attached to it without some sort of pushback. JPS wants to control, in my mind, the charging stations across the island. That's why you see them promoting it. It's a lot of energy that will be taken from the grid and they want to benefit the most. So we're gonna have a very interesting battle, per se, coming up in who is allowed to have solar attached to charging stations and how that's worked out. The Minister Voss has indicated that he wants to change the policy. We'll see how that goes. Government does own 20% of JPS. So I reached out to Xavier Gordon, who is the co-founder and CEO of Flash Motors. They're bringing down the BYD electrical vehicle to Jamaica through Stewart's. I wanted to hear a perspective from an expert in this industry. I know more of the solar energy side of things, and we do set up EV charging stations, but my knowledge is obviously not as deep as Xavier. So we hope to get him on a video as well sometime soon, but look out for information from Xavier in the article that I wrote up this week, and then we'll be back to have Xavier on a video for you guys posted soon, hopefully the end of this week, to go more in depth into it. So please email us or post any questions that you want to ask Xavier or myself about where this EV issue with charging stations and selling back and the rights that JPS has and how government is going to handle it. Send those questions in. I'll pose them to Xavier, and let's see what we can come up with on our own, and what ideas you guys have to maybe help encourage government to create a proper policy for EV charging. Thanks everybody, and look forward to hearing from you, and we'll speak again soon.